A big thanks to all of you for clicking on this video. Three interesting updates in this one. First one is Barbora versus Gabriella. The rematch for the number one female arm wrestler in the world is confirmed. When and where? We'll find out. Number two is Zaur Paizulaev's injury update and announcement of the next AMC tournament in Russia. Number three is Neil pickup in the controversies once again. What's the topic this time? A fixed match? We'll see. So let's move on to the first news. Gabriella Vasconcelos was considered the number one female arm wrestler in the entire world till 21st January 2023. At East vs West, Barbora, the 22-year-old Slovakian, defeated Gabriella in a 3-2 grinder of a super match and got crowned the number one female arm wrestler in the world. She was already the 90 plus kg WAF champion in the super heavyweight division of amateur arm wrestling. But what was missing was a professional title, and she took that from Gabriella, and now there were no doubts. Well, maybe there are, because the old queen is not ready to go down yet. She wants another shot, and that another rematch is confirmed for East vs West 9 on 21st of October 2023. It's the same event as Devon Larratt vs Denis Siplankov. So the hype is going to be huge. In the first two rounds, Gabby was winning comfortably. Everyone thought that this is a mismatch. But then the longer frame of Barbora, the physicalities and the top roll abilities prevailed, and she was able to turn the match around in her own favor and won it 3-2. And if we look at it that way, if it was a tournament, well, maybe Gabriella is still untouchable because she went through Barbora clean in the first two rounds without any trouble, even without her wrist. She looked comfortable. So what does that mean? Is Gabriella still the queen of WAF arm wrestling, of tournament arm wrestling? Well, maybe she is, because I would say that even in the super heavyweight division, it would be really difficult for anyone to beat her. But today's world is not about WAF or amateur tournaments. Today's world is professional. It is about super matches mostly. And Barbora for now is the queen of super matches in female arm wrestling. But Gabriella will for sure have some other plans, because this is going to be her last opportunity to reclaim her throne. As I mentioned earlier, Barbora is only 22 years old. She is young. She is getting stronger every single year. It will be impossible for Gabriella to catch up to Barbora if she is not able to do that this time. I hope the 34 times world champion reclaims her throne once again, because then we will be able to see another rematch in the future, and nothing is more exciting than great rematches. So let's move on to the next news. Zaur Paizulaev is seen in the gym once again. Zaur is less than 2 months into bicep surgery recovery, and he is back at it again. This time he is lifting 40 kilos in the same exercise that detached his bicep. When he detached his bicep, he was using 70 kilos. Now he's up to 40 and he's holding it there for an insane amount of time. It feels that if the weight isn't even there, that's how strong Zaur is. He probably held it for 30 seconds. I don't know. I'll mention the exact time on the screen. You'll be able to see it. But that's crazy strength. Not this weight, but having this much strength only about 7-8 weeks after the surgery. The recovery is fast, and Zaur Paizulaev is already looking like a monster. He has lost about 10 kilos of weight. He mentioned that his current weight is about 160 kilos. But that beast is going to be unstoppable once again in the future. And if not for the number one title, he is coming for the number two title very soon. And after he claims that, he will be going for Levan Saginashvili. With that being said, the AMC tournament, the tournament that made Zaur famous in the first place, because Zaur dominated it for 2 consecutive times. So unfortunately, next time I don't think Zaur will be able to participate, because the month, we don't have the exact date set, but the month of the AMC 5th edition tournament will be July this year, and it will be held in Arsen Liliev's hometown, Vladikavkaz, Russia. This time it is inevitable that more and more people will be competing there, because the prize money is going up every single time. The hype and the fame that comes after the tournament, it is going up every single time. This tournament is unavoidable for anyone in this world. The Giga Chat, the winner of the 95 kg division in the 4th edition, has already confirmed that he will be competing in the next event as well. Of course, we're talking about Zaur Paizulaev. I think the next event is going to be the biggest tournament in the world by far in a very long time, and I cannot wait for that. So next up in the news, we have Neil Pickup once again in the controversies. So what's the news this time? This time it is a possible or alleged fixed match. That topic was brought up on Reddit forum when people were talking about the AMC tournament, Vitaly versus Dmitry Silayev fake match. If you haven't watched that video, please click here. You can watch it from here. And then somebody brought up this match from Arm Wars. It is more than a decade old match. And there is something controversial. That person said that this match was also fixed, but nobody talks about that match. And of course, all of us watched that match many years ago. Not all of us, but most of us. At that time, we didn't find anything weird in that match. But there was one thing weird that I saw in this match. And that was Neil's head movements and the way he was breathing. It was kind of weird. Like, who moves his head like this in a super match? Like, it was about... He was about to collapse. If I move my neck that fast, I'm going to pass out for sure. So that was something weird. Like, nobody moves that fast during a super match, during the 6th round when you're totally gassed out. So that was kind of doubtful move from Neil. And now YouTubers are making videos about that. They're calling Neil out on this topic. And to be honest, it could have been fixed. Because just look at the storyline. They're winning matches back and forth. Michael Todd somehow gets injured in the final round. Then Neil has an elbow foul. The score is 3-2 in favor of Neil. For the champion to retain his title, the score needs to be 3-3. And then the final round, despite Michael being injured, he was losing. Michael was losing when he was not injured. And when Michael got injured, he still beats Neil in the final round. So perfect ending to the story. The defending champion gets injured but somehow still comes back, and based on pure strength and unwillingness to give up, beats the challenger Neil Pickup, who was considered as a superior arm wrestler in terms of technique and accolades as well. And Neil likes to speak. Even in those days, he just cannot help himself but to narrate his own voice during the matchups, which is totally fine in this format because he was the one who was competing. I wish I heard something from Michael as well, but I don't think we did. But Neil still likes to give his commentaries most of the times, even in today's matches, although he's the one who's already commentating. But still he adds his own commentary on top of that. Once again, no ill intentions in that Arm Wars Monster Michael Todd match. Neil is doing something to create more hype, to generate more views, to generate more attraction towards the sport of arm wrestling. So 100% positive intentions from that guy. But is it right? Is it wrong? You guys mention in the comments. And do you think it was a fake match? That's important as well, because they acted, if it was a fake match, they acted way better than Vitaly versus Silayev. You have to give them a lot of credit for that. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe and I'll see you again.